Hi guys, welcome back to The Forgetful Scholar, and this week we're going to chat about books, 2 books. And I hope you don't hear the garden. My neighbor is doing yard work. I waited for like 30 minutes, but they're still going, so, and I don't really have a lot more time today, so I hope it's not too distracting. Anyway, okay, so this week I did a contemporary paranormal romance and a contemporary cozy mystery. Okay, so the first book, From Bad to Curse, A Witch of Thistle Grove, Book 2 by Laura Harper. This is published in 2022 and 312 pages, and this was 2 stars. So, ooh, this was so close to being so good. Okay, so first of all, in Thistle Grove, there are 4 main family of witches. Everybody else is like a normie. And I love the magic system in this. Like 5 stars for the magic system, right? But this was enemies to lovers trope. And you guys know I love that. It's my favorite, but it is one of those, it's so hard to do well. The author has to balance on a very thin tightrope, and this author, the first book and the third book of the series has all been in one POV, so I guess that's their style. But for enemies to lovers, only doing one POV, and that was Isadora, who I really like. Only being in her POV really handicaps you as an author, and for the reader too, because the whole enemies to lovers thing, you have to make sure they're like, it makes sense for the 2 characters to hate each other, but also through the book the reader sees how they both start to soften towards each other, and how that happens and why it happens and why that eventually becomes lovers. But to only have one POV, that was a mistake, I think. Yeah. And it was 3 stars until the 3rd act. Okay, so this starts off with the May Queen going to be announced, and the Thorns, who have green magic or like life plant magic, it's basically their jam, right? So the Thorns are kind of competing with themselves, and Emmy from the first book, she's the voice, the victor, so she is like the judge. She's sort of like the magical mayor. And Isadora and her older sister are watching, and their magic is black magic or like death magic, you know, they're descendants from Baba Yaga, you know. So normally the 2 families' magics are complete opposites. I wouldn't say that it's like a Romeo-Juliet thing at all. But, you know, because in the first book, Talia, Isadora's older sister, I believe that's her name, she worked together with Rowan, who is the scion of the Thorns, the next head of the family. He and Isadora's older sister worked together to thwart the Blackmores, who are like descendant from Morgana Le Fay, and they're basically like the bad guys, right? Even though we love Nina, and she does a little appearance in this, and so does Morty, and we love them. Book 3 is still my favorite in this series. So they're there, and this one Thorn named Holly, she tries to do this magic, and all of a sudden it starts decaying, and it attacks her. Her magic like attacks her. This decaying magic attacks her, and it's possible that she'll never be able to wield magic again, which is like horrible, right? So in response to this, the heads of the council, like the elders, get together and said that like someone from Isadora's family and someone from the Thorn family have to investigate. So the Thorns pick Rowan, their scion, and the head of Isadora's family picks her, because there can be no hint of impropriety and things like that, right? So this book basically goes for them investigating who did this horrible magic and how to stop them, right? And along the way, they're fall in love, or supposedly. It's a whole thing. Okay, so with that said, that's the premise of the book, right? But the book starts off with the bad magic well, the book starts off a lot of fun, but the next chapter, the magic happened, the evil magic happens, and so on. So we don't see this incident that happened 7 years ago that makes Isadora hate Rowan, and Rowan acts like she's being unreasonable about it. And the thing is, Rowan's supposed to be like a super nice guy. He's kind of a snobby dick, like, in this. I'm not gonna lie, because we're not in his POV. We don't see his thought process. We're only in Isadora's, who I like, who's very impulsive, and I think the author did a wonderful job of showing us how impulsive she is. Not telling, showing it. I loved it. I love her. Isadora's great. There's only really one time, like, she's having a panic attack and he's like there for her, and that's nice, you know, but also seems like how he is with everybody else except Isadora. Like, it didn't feel like Isadora was special, you know? And again, holding us to the one POV really hurt this story, I think. And the fact that we didn't see the incident 7 years ago. So 7 years ago, Isadora is of 18 and she's volunteering at the shelter because she loves animals. She's trying to go vegan. She's a creative, you know, she designs clothes. She's really interested in that. And she works at doing the storyboard for the haunted house that their family owns, right? She's 18, so, you know, 18-year-old, you know. And he was 22, and I guess like a veterinary assistant, because he's a vet now. I guess he was like going through school. I'm not sure how vets work, but he seemed like either a new vet or doing the last bit of it. I don't know. And he's 22, and from her point of view, he made her life horrible, right? And we only get them talking about it later. And, you know, she was 18 and she wasn't doing a very good job. Fair. And he even admitted if she was from any other family, he would have sat her down and talked to her about it instead of just writing her up and getting her fired. So because her family does death magic, he basically was like, well, she shouldn't be around animals, which is really messed up. Like, he apologizes for it, but even internally, she's like, that's not really enough. And I agree. So I think we should have had a time skip. Usually I don't like time skips, but I think this would have helped. I think if we saw that go down 7 years ago, like reading it, not just hearing it secondhand, because I was like, okay, whatever, you know. But going through Isadora's emotions during that, and then have a time skip to today, then I think we would understand more why Isadora was holding on to being pissed about what happened 7 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, I think it would have felt like, no, she wasn't being unreasonable, right? And then there's one point where he kind of does it again. Like, he does something on the page which is kind of snobby, you know, and hurts her feelings. And she's a creative, so because they have to do a new haunted house story, like every year they do a new one. Okay, so the thing about me, I'm a baby about scary books. I'm a baby about it. I don't know. Horror movies, I tend to get bored. I get jolted out of the immersion really easy when it comes to horror movies. Well, movies in general, but especially horror movies. Haunted houses, I freaking love them. I love them. Real ones, fake ones, all them. I love them so much, right? I know. I don't know how this works either. It's fine. So, you know, we're going through with her, you know, her emotions are hurt, and she's a creative, so she's, even as she makes the storyline basically about like a good family that's actually mean to the bad family that's actually the good guys, like, she's even like, oh my gosh, can I be more transparent? And I was like, yeah, she's kind of using this as her diary. And let me tell you, all the scenarios for the haunted house, I think she goes through 3 of them, super lame. Like, I'm sorry, if I paid to go through this haunted house of any of those iterations, I'll be like, what the heck is this shit? This is so stupid. Like, I mean, fine, on page everyone's like, oh yes, and do it ghastly, and it's so scary. And I'm like, is it though? Is it? It doesn't seem like a very good concept at all. So, you know, it's like her diary and she's working through emotions, right? And she's mad at Rowan at this time. So it's not complimentary to the forest folk, right? Okay, so I'm gonna leave that there, right? Come back to that in a second. So I love the magic system in this. It's so much fun. They're trying to figure out who the bad guy is, and it was driving me crazy because the talking tree basically gave him the answer in the first third of his book. And yes, talking tree, the magic system's a lot of fun. Of course, it's a talking tree, so it talked in riddles, but I was like, come on, it's obvious, this is obvious what's happening, and it was driving me a little crazy. And I was right. Yay. The confrontation was a lot of fun. I don't think I was supposed to laugh, but it was so impulsive, bad decision, Isadora, that I loved it. Like, in the final confrontation, Isadora basically brings like an automatic pew pew to a water balloon fight. Like, what she does was like so like, whoa, that was out of proportion. Hilarious, pure Isadora, let's go. Yo, I didn't even think about like, oh no, I have to deal with that problem. Like, it was great, it was perfect. No notes, phenomenal, right? And during their investigation, there was a horrible curse thrown at Ronan, one that not only kills the person it targets, but also destroys their soul, so no afterlife, whatever you believe in. It's pretty nasty. And there's thought to be no counter curse, but Isadora, being a badass, she fought the curse with a curse and saved his life. She almost bit it, but it saved her life. And through the whole thing, there's this cute like inside joke about horoscopes between them, and it's fun, it's cute, you know. It's cute. I got annoyed with it because it was like the third act conflict with Rowan, which was stupid. She's like, oh, typical Taurus temper. I was like, no, don't do that. Don't just explain away this temper that we have not seen through the whole book, because he's like a sweet guy that apparently looks like Michael B. Jordan, so gorgeous. So don't do that. Like, you're so good. The author's so good at showing us characteristics. Don't just do that. Like, come on now. That seems like, that was so like such a cop out. Because, I mean, we see him throughout the story being angry and protective that his family is being targeted, of course. We seen him apologize for the things that he did to her, or, you know, and I accept your apology, and in turn she's like, that's not enough. And I'm like, yeah, because like, words are cheap, you know, you have to show that you mean that, right? And I don't think he did. And again, this is where the double POV would have helped, because we could have seen him go through like, feel internally guilty and try to do, you know, try to fix it. And I think that would have, for me, that would have gone a long way of being like, oh, see, he's trying, you know, of course he made a mistake, he was young too, lovely, you know. But because the author kind of pigeonholed themselves, we don't see that, which is a shame. Which is a real shame, because I think it would have made the book like 5 stars, you know what I mean? So if he's gonna have a temper, right, there's this scene where the temper would have been great showcased, and it would have been like one of those, oh, that's so cute kind of moments, because after he almost dies and she saves his life but almost bites it herself, the other in front of the elders, right, and his father's kind of going off on her family, and his mother's like, whoa, calm down, and he's like, yeah, everybody relax. Very calm, very classic Rowan that we've seen throughout this book and the first book. Fine. But if we're gonna have him have like a stupid ass temper later, then like, I think that moment, if he goes through, like, he looks at his father and says, watch it, just watch it in like an authoritative kind of tone, I think it would have been great, because his father's really saying horrible things about Isadora's family. So like, that would have been a great moment where you see he has a temper, he's protective of Isadora, and he's willing to stand against his parents, who they have a great relationship, because he's insulting Isadora. I think that would have been one of the moments where like, you could kind of feel or see how much he's starting to love her, because by this is like end of the second third, so by this point we should already know that they're like in love and they're like fighting it or not addressing it. So that's usually how that goes, right? for romances. So I think that would have shown more than anything how much Ronan cares for Isadora at that point. You know what I mean? And I think it would have been a great way to show he's obviously in love with her and he has a temper. You know, I think that would have been the perfect place for it. But instead we got a reasonable, calm, hey, everybody, let's take a breath, Rowan, that we've seen so far. So when he loses his temper over the stupid haunted house scenario, I was like, come on, bro. After everything Isadora has done for you, after everything she's like excused and forgiven, that is what you're gonna like sulk off like and not refuse to talk to her for like 3 days, I think. Ridiculous. And like I think the author tried to fix it by like, during the decay curse, a bunch of trees were killed, and that's why they went to talk to like the main talking tree. I know, but it makes sense in the book. Anyway, and he like planted some black diamond orchid apple trees. I don't know if those are real or not, but like, because, you know, he likes Isadora. Like, I guess that was supposed to be like, oh, you know, she's still on his mind, but he acted like a petulant child. Like, maybe because I'm like, oh, first of all, the scenario was lame. Second of all, you really haven't like earned her forgiveness for anything you did. And this is like almost a diary. Like, it was so weird that he got so, to me, it felt so weird that he got so mad. Because obviously that was her emotions in the moment. And she even said like, well, I was mad at you at the time. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. It just felt really out of proportion for Rowan, who has been so even keeled the whole time, for him to just have this temper out of nowhere, where it would have been so good if like during the council meeting, if he did that, then I would have been like, okay, that makes sense. He's also protective of his family. But since we didn't get that, I was like, ah. So 2 stars. I'm a little disappointed, but like the third book is so good. I'm gonna keep reading because I do like this world, this author. Is just, if you're gonna do enemies to lovers, you have to show us the first conflict, and you have to give us 2 POVs, because the whole time Ronan didn't seem like he felt guilty for what he did, and like, you know what I mean? So like, it's really hard to do that. So I think the author kind of pigeonholed themselves, which is disappointing. So yeah, that was that book. Now the second book is the cozy mystery with a gay protagonist. It is Mystery Magnet, The Last Picks, book 1 by Gregory Ashe, 181 pages, and published 2024. I had so much fun. This was like a 4.5. Like I had so much fun with this book. So it stars Dashiell, prefers Dash. He is a mystery writer. Not really. Like, he wants to be a mystery writer, but he's very indecisive. And he's really super anxious. Like, he has a lot of anxiety, and we see it on the page. We don't have to be told. We see it, right? And this book is so short, but it is so good. It like I could tell the town, the funny characters in it, the friends he makes. I love Kemi, Indra, Millie, and Fox so much. These are friends he makes, and it's so cute because like you could tell he doesn't have a lot of friends, and he's a little lonely, and they call themselves the Last Picks because they're like sort of the social outcasts of this small town. They're so great, such colorful characters. And you get who they are right away. Even when one of them is mute, he has so much personality and character. It's phenomenal. So he moves to this small town in the West Coast, like in Washington or Oregon, to work for this really famous author, Vivian Carver. And she kind of made me think of Jessica Fletcher from Murder, She Wrote, kind of like a little tongue-in-cheek, making fun of that kind of archetype. She's a huge mystery novelist that also solves real mysteries. So like, which I thought was fun. It was fun. I had so much fun. The only reason this isn't a 5-star because the final act, I didn't think there was enough clues for the readers to get where Dash gets in the end. You know what I mean? I think there were a lot of like, ooh, almost like, okay, that makes sense, that makes sense. But I think it needed like a little more of a push, like one more clue, just almost there, right? But I had so much fun and I want to continue reading it. So basically I've been trying so hard. During this book, he goes to work for Vivian as her like assistant, and he's hoping to learn from the best how to write mysteries because both of his parents are mystery writers, right? And during this book, the author definitely like, because you know, in the reading in the literary world, people kind of shit on romance novels and people kind of shit on cozy mysteries, probably because the majority of readers are women and misogyny, and it's stupid and it sucks because a book is a book, and if it's a good story, who gives a shit? But whatever. So during this book, he definitely showcases probably what he heard people say about cozy mysteries, and it's entertaining as hell. And there's a confrontation with one of the red herrings at the library, and it goes completely off the rails, and he is just stunned. And like, it was perfect characterization because from the Dash we've seen up until that point, yeah, a final, like, that would happen. That makes sense, you know? And the whole town thinks he's the killer, except his friends, his newfound friends. Well, in the beginning, they're like, let's question him. And they're like, yeah, no, he's not the killer. And they decide he's not the killer because he can't make a decision to save his life. They're like, yeah, no way, you wouldn't even be able to figure out like what you would use, let alone pre-plan this. And then he's like, thank you, I know, you know? So you get Dashiell's personality right away. I really like him. He's like, I want to like give him a cookie and wrap a blanket around him. I really got sucked into the mystery, and I got literally so affronted when he was accused of murder. I was like, how dare you? Obviously he didn't. So I obviously got really wrapped up and cared about Dash really early on for me to be like vocally yelling at my Kindle like, how dare you? So that was ridiculous. But I mean, it's great when books make you feel that, you know, when you get all worked up like that. I am definitely going to continue with the series because I had so much fun. I don't want to, again, because it's a mystery, and I don't tend to go into a lot of detail with mysteries because I don't want to ruin it. I will say the twist, I didn't see that coming, so that was fun. And it was a great end, like the confrontation on the page, how it ended, chef's kiss, no notes. It was like high intensity and hilarious at the same time. Read it, you'll get what I mean. Okay, so that's it. I don't want to, but it's time for me to get back to the real world. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye.